Stop being a nut job. Good morning, everybody. Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is Friday, the 30th of June, 2023, the last day of June. Now you're looking at out here at the sky right now. It's absolutely beautiful, right? Looks nice. No, not a lot of clouds. The clouds are all over there now. We had quite the rainstorm this morning. I mean, it was really coming down, and but that's okay. You know, I don't mind that. Get a good rain in here, soak everything good, get the garden really nice and all that, and that's a good thing. Okay, so we have some breaking news. Two things, actually. We're going to talk about them. Both were decided by the Supreme Court. Now, here's the ironic thing. And tell me this wasn't the plan the entire time. I don't know if it was or not, but let's just say, I found the correlation interesting. So, student loan debt. Biden was trying to eliminate about $400 billion of student loan forgiveness for people making under a certain amount of money that have student loan debt. And so, he was trying to, do the forgiveness program for that. So it's very interesting, honestly, the whole thing to me, because at the same time, they had already had it set up that by the end of August, or I believe in August, that people would start having to pay back student loan debt, right? I believe it's August that it's already set up that they have to start paying back. And the Supreme Court, on a 6-3 vote, right across party lines, imagine that, have decided that Biden does not have the authority to do that, so they are saying no, that these students have to pay back the student debt, okay? So, I mean, as somebody who took out a student loan way back in the day, and as somebody who completely paid off their student loan, all right, when I went to nursing school, I got a student loan. It was a 10-year loan, that's what they did, and so I was able to go to school and get, further education and be able to go on and make a decent living, here through the rest of my life. And I find it very, very interesting that if somebody went to school, and I always use basket weaving and joke around, but if you went to school, college, 4-year college, and I'll even use one that's a legitimate one that they use. You went to school for communications, right? You went to school for gender studies. You went to school for whatever nonsensical, non-employable job that's out there, thinking that you're going to come out of college making $100,000 a year and be somebody that's really important because of your vast knowledge in, or they come out with a degree in, I'm trying to think of the name of the degree that they call it, liberal arts. There you go. There's a great one right there. You got your degree in liberal arts, right? It doesn't coordinate over well for jobs in the real world. So a lot of those people that come out of those colleges quickly realize, oh crap, I can't get a job in this field that I just went $100,000 in debt for, right? And now my student loans are due, and I'm not making the kind of money that I thought I was going to make. So then all of a sudden, they're the victim. They're not the victim. I'm sorry, this is just my take on it, okay? You made the decision. You went to school for whatever nonsensical thing, like, oh, I went to college for art, and now I can't get work. Well, whose fault is that? That's not my fault, and I should let you have student loan forgiveness because of that? I just don't have that empathy for that. I'm sorry. If you've made poor decisions, that's on you. You're responsible for them. That's just my take on it, okay? Let's be smarter. Maybe instead of thumbing your nose down people that went and did a apprenticeship to be an electrician, a carpenter, a plumber. And maybe if you stop thumbing your nose down at those people and realize, hey, they didn't have to go ridiculously in debt forever and ever and ever. They sacrificed a couple years in an apprenticeship where they were getting paid and, maybe not making great money, but they were learning. And now they're a carpenter, now they're a plumber, now they're an electrician, and they're making a decent living doing so, Let's think about those things instead of, you're so important because you went to college for 4 years, partied your butt off, and, did the student loans, and now you're crying because you got this huge debt. That's your problem. That is not my problem. And I agree with the Supreme Court on this decision that, that you are responsible for paying back your student debt. That's just my take on it. I'd like to hear what you guys think, because of your poor decisions as somebody who took out a student loan. Now you want to be forgiven that debt so that you can go on with your life. I want to hear what you think about that. The second thing that was just handed down by the Supreme Court, there was a web designer who had refused to do a web design for a gay couple, okay? And so they were sued, or the web designer was sued because they said it was discrimination because they were a gay couple. That's why that the person wouldn't do it. Have you ever seen the signs? So here's my take on this one. Have you ever seen the signs when you go in a restaurant or a place of business and the sign says, "We have the right to refuse service"? Have you ever seen those signs? I sure have, okay? Which means, or the sign says, "No shirt, no shoes, no service." I know a lot of you have seen those signs. Well, that's the business making a business decision that if you are not dressed in a certain way, they're not going to serve you. As a business person, I feel that you should not be forced to do a service for somebody because you as an individual are either uncomfortable or don't want to do a service for that. There's plenty of other people out there that will do that service for you that don't have a moral conundrum of the situation. So the Supreme Court again ruled in the web designer's favor, saying it was her right to refuse service, okay? And I agree with that 100%. You may not like that, and like I said, me personally, I got nothing against anybody that's two consenting adults doing whatever they want to do to each other. I honestly don't. If you're two adults, you can do whatever you want. But as a business person, people have the right to refuse service. And I think that that's important, that should be upheld, that you have that right to refuse service, that you should not be forced to do something that you don't want to do. So I applaud both of these decisions with the Supreme Court. I definitely want to hear your feedback. And this is listen, and just so you know, for me, it has nothing to do with anybody being gay or whatever the case may be, but we should all have that right to refuse service if we don't agree with whatever, for whatever reasons. For religious reasons, I believe this situation was because of religious reasons. The person didn't want to do it. And again, if you have that moral conviction, you have that right. Again, we see those signs all the time. Nobody blinks an eye and says, well, you know what, I'm feeling discriminated against because I don't want to wear shoes. I'm feeling discriminated against because I don't want to wear a shirt and go into that store. Well, guess what? If you don't have shoes on or a shirt on when you walk into that store, they're not going to serve you. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, that is definitely something that people need to take into consideration. They need to think about. Again, I would like to hear you guys' thoughts on this. I want to hear what your feedback is, what you think of both of these situations, because I think it's an interesting conversation. And again, when it comes to the student loans, I'm coming from the perspective of somebody who took out a student loan. So it's not like I've never, had that debt hanging over me. And it was a 10-year loan, folks. And I paid every month happily because I was able to establish myself in a well-paying career because of the choices that I made. You know, why is it my fault if you've decided to take college courses for something that's never going to get you anywhere, that you're never going to be able to do something for? I mean, I got nothing against art. Like I had said earlier, I talked about an art degree. But the reality is, very few people make a lot of money as an artist. I've seen some fantastic artists. My daughter went to school with a girl who was a phenomenal talent, and I'm sure she ended up doing quite well. But just because people are going to indulge in your fantasy that you think you're an artist when you suck, okay, that's not my fault, and I should not have to eat that cost because you're a moron. That's just my take on it, okay? So again, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Remember, real quickly before I do end this, I will be live streaming tonight, 8 p.m. So I would encourage you all to join me then. And looking forward to that chat this evening. Remember, folks, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us. We really, really, truly do. We need to come together as human beings. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. Life is so short and it's precious. We need to tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. Just hang in there, guys. Set realistic goals and set about to making them happen. All right? I will see you all tonight at 8 o'clock. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.